Hello and welcome everyone to my channel. A fresh new year and it's January 2020. My first idea was to do a little recap of 2019, my first year here on YouTube, sharing my top 3 abandoned places and 3 of my photos from 2019 that I'm most proud of. But I got a few more ideas, so I would also like to take the opportunity to give you a little short summary of my photography journey. Lastly, I would like to talk a little about what to expect here on this channel in 2020. Let's get started. As you may not know, I started in late 2017 with becoming a little more serious in stills photography. My photography friend Michael Carlson persuaded me into bringing my old Canon 450D to an abandoned place and showing me some light painting techniques. I'm very grateful of that. I struggled a lot with all the settings in the beginning and I kept shooting over the course of 2018, visiting a lot of abandoned places and kept struggling with all the parameters and decided pretty quickly that I wanted to shoot in RAW format and process my images by myself to be able to more understand as much as possible. I believe that this is a thing of my nature. If I commit hard if I feel that I have a talent for it. Does not mean that I produce a good result, but I strive to be as good as possible. And I'm very self-critical when it comes to my work. So in early and mid 2018 I did experiment a lot with techniques and what type of gear I used. And in August of 2018 I met Stefan Bergström for the first time when me and Michael had found a little mine that required SRT-climbing technique to be able to investigate it further. And what an entrance Stefan did. With shorts and a nice shirt he entered the mine. Very casual, I must say. I had seen his photography work and I thought it was really amazing. He also was into SRT climbing, which I thought was really nuts, to be honest. And could not get my head around to try. To try was a certain death, was my first thoughts. Looking down some open mining pits. But when he offered me and Michael to try some of his spare gear, I decided to at least try. We did some basic training at the spot to be able to get a little more familiar with the gear. And adrenaline-filled, I descended into a totally unknown mine, and I had not yet learned how the ascending gear works. But I decided to deal with that problem a little later. I got to the bottom in one piece and realized that this is the key to be able to reach fairly untouched places with no damage caused by other people. But my reaction still was that this is not normal. We investigated this small mine and took a few terrible photos that I have not shown to other people, and I will not do it now. I managed to get up and Stefan continued to investigate some open mining pits in the area, and I stood over. After that first meetup with Stefan, I decided to get some gear and started to practice knots and look for information. I did a lot of controlled climbs in the beginning since I really wanted to be able to climb and to be safe doing it. Since the key to not feel terrified to something scary is knowledge into what you're doing and to be able to keep calm in every situation. Over the upcoming months I also started to film my visits and decided to start a YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, to be able to share my explores and pictures. And film editing is a totally different thing than photos. But I liked both processes and decided to simultaneously try to learn them both. And I realized that I needed to keep trying and don't stop. And try to set aside that quality is not that great, especially in the beginning. Over the time I have tried different styles of videos. I have tried to cut the music, some with a little voiceover, but the best response I've got is the videos with me interacting directly in the video, which is the hardest, at least for me. That is way out of my comfort zone, but in the same time very fun. You just need to set things aside and just go for it. Another type of video is that I have tried to do a little review, which currently has the most amount of views of all my videos. At the time being, it has more than 1000 views. It is double the amount of any of my other videos. I think that people constantly seeks for that type of information. Well, enough talked about that. So, top 3 abandoned places I have visited in 2019. I will now try to rank top 3 visits to abandoned places in 2019. It is very hard and I like more than just 3, but I will at least try. You will find all the links to the videos in the description below. Number 3. We got to explore these wonderful 2 mines that has been water filled for a very long time, but somehow has drained itself. Very exciting to climb down and not knowing what we would find down there. I took some photos that I'm very proud of. Number 2. It must be this mine that we need to revisit twice to bring even more gear. This is a deep mine with a wonderful descent, and when you start from the ground level it directly tests your determination since you can't see the bottom, and it is a free hang descent. After the descent we managed to get to the other side via traverse to reach some old leatherways. After climbing those, we found ourselves in a really old part of this mine with carefully stacked stones. This was a real highlight for me. Number 1. Easy pick. This is what I call the wagon mine. First time I heard about it, it sounded unreal. At 120 meter level, there's rails with a wagon set just standing there, but I never thought I would be visiting them. But it came true. It takes many hours and you constantly fight with darkness, water, dirt and freezing temperatures. And it requires waiting when you finally reach the bottom after climbing down an emergency ladder way. But the reward is really satisfying. So that is my top 3 abandoned places that I visited in 2019. Next is the top 3 pictures in 2019. So if I would try to pick 3 of my pictures that I'm most proud over, this is a lot harder for sure, but I will at least try. If you're interested to see more of my pictures, you can head over to my Instagram or Facebook page. Number 3. Yes, it is a selfie. Not a perfect picture, but I really like the environment with its flowing ice and the rock walls just creeping into the center. And it's always tricky to take pictures on yourself when it's pitch black. Number 2. Actually got 2 pictures for number 2, and both are taken with a fisheye lens, which gives interesting perspectives. First one is 2 unopened bottles and a plate that has been standing there in an earth cellar for a very long time. But I like the perspective with its leading lines and the damped colors. Next one I call the claustrophobic room, since this room is really small. I just like the picture with its rough walls with daylight on them, and the contrast of the green leaves on the outside. A little sad somehow. Number 1. I call this bending tracks, and they can be found deep down in a mine. I just like this one, with the tracks just disappearing into the unknown. And the visit down here could be the first and the last time, since the water level in this mine is rising rapidly. I also found a little newspaper fragment where I could read from the reporting that the RMS Titanic has sunk from 1912. Really amazing. So when I see this picture, I think about the newspaper. So that was my top 3 abandoned places and pictures from 2019. I hope you enjoyed them and the little story behind them. So what to expect here in 2020? Let's talk future. I first of all hope that I stay healthy, and I will try to produce more interesting content for this channel. I have a lot of plans and ideas, and I will of course continue to visit more abandoned places and mines. I have a few interesting visits that I will be editing and release as fast as possible. I will also try to incorporate more nature and outdoor stuff, and small reviews on things that I feel that can be interesting for you watching. And it could vary from camera gear, climbing gear, and outdoor and nature related gear. Is there anything special you directly think about that you want to see here on the channel? Please write a few lines in the description below. I have also decided to change the name of this channel. I have more and more started to dislike the current name of this channel, Photo by Kent. So I decided to simply change it to my name, Kent Kirjonen. Why not? Lastly, thanks for all the support under 2019, and I wish you a good continuation of this new year. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, since it really helps. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, also having this notification turned on, so you don't miss out on any of my future content. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.